What's up, movie lovers? I'm Mike, and this is Gotta Love Them Movies. Oh, you guys, welcome back to another edition of Gotta Love Them Movies. I'm your host, Mike Brown. I'm here all the time. Let's be honest, you guys, it's quarantine season, and I'm home all the time. In case you haven't realized or noticed, or if you're just not keeping up to the YouTube channel, you may have noticed I haven't been doing the show for a couple of weeks. So this is one of our catch-up shows. You know, a few weeks ago, got really busy. My girlfriend's mom came to stay with us for a week, so we got kind of wrapped up doing that. Many of you know that I have another job where I go flying in the sky sometimes, so kind of had to go back to that job for a minute. But hey, everything's settled for the moment. Well, let's be clear. Nothing's really truly settled when you've been furloughed from your job. So still trying to work out the unemployment. So if anybody knows how unemployment works, please get in contact with me ASAP, because I need some help in that regard. But joining me today is a gentleman, a very good friend of mine, somebody that I've known for a very long time now, somebody who needs no help with unemployment. Please put your hands together for stand-up comedian Mr. Harrison Greenbaum.
Thank you. Although I'm sure the unemployment office would beg to differ.
Well, the unemployment office for New Jersey, I will say that we're a little bit on the outs at the moment, but hey, we're figuring it out as we go.
Can I tell you, that sweatshirt, not only do I love that sweatshirt, but it brings me back to my childhood, because I feel like our generation is the only joy that was the Warner Brothers store.
I know, right?
Remember that place?
I feel like, wasn't there like, wow, I never stopped to think about it. The Warner Brothers store closed up. It is no more.
It's gone. There was the Disney store.
Right.
And everyone was like, this is kind of cool. It's like being in Disney, but it's for me, it was like in a Long Island mall. That's kind of fun. And then I think Warner Brothers was like, wait a second, we can get in on that sweet mall action. And all of a sudden, across the way from the Disney store was a giant Bugs Bunny, and you would go in. And they also had DC Comics at that time, so they would have like Superman and Batman. And it was a magical time where malls were like a thing that you did.
I totally forgot it. I never even stopped to think about the Warner Brothers store, but yeah, you're right. It is no more. Wow. I just got really sad.
Honestly, neither are malls, really.
Well, we can live vicariously through Stranger Things, where they, fight demogorgons inside of a shopping mall. But yeah, you're right. No real Mall of America. That's a thing, I guess.
If I'm ever lucky enough to have kids, I don't know if they're going to believe me that like going to the mall, that was the activity.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You don't have to then go, and we're going to do this.
You're not going to go to the bookstore in the mall.
You're going to the mall. We're going to the mall. Are we going to buy anything? Maybe not.
So
maybe a press.
So Harrison, I've already introduced you a little bit as a stand-up comedian. Go ahead and tell our viewers, like, what is it that you do? I mean, yeah, you stand-up comedy, but tell us a little bit about yourself. What makes you qualified to sit around on a movie talk show and just chit-chat movie news?
Who are you, my mom? No. What do you do? You just do jokes for money? That's a terrible
tell
impression.
Those jokes,
not even
honey.
Close. I actually did tell my cousin's kid, who's adorable, and she just turned 5. I was trying to explain to her what a comedian was, and I ended up with word clown. I said I was a word clown. Did I walk the room already?
Sorry.
I've already walked the house. This is a bad sign.
My cat is in the room, and she's trying to get out through the door. So I figured, hey, Harrison's on screen. Nobody can see me at the moment. I'm going to go get my cat and wrangle her away from the door. Of course, that just happens to be the moment that I get thrown under the bus. Thanks for that. Appreciate that, Harrison.
No, my pleasure. I'm a stand-up comedian, a magician. I normally would say that I do over 600 shows a year, traveling all around the world. That obviously has been a little bit harder to do this year. But I've shifted into virtual, so I've been doing virtual shows. I did the Magic Castle show virtually on Saturday, which was pretty fun. I was nervous that I've been performing at the Magic Castle basically every year uninterrupted for the last 5-6 years at this point, maybe 7. So it was nice to be able to do it so that my streak remains uninterrupted,
Beautiful.
technically speaking. But yeah, I've been doing a show called Who Books That, where I interview top magicians and performers. That's every Wednesday. And Scam Online, which is being relaunched in season 2. We're very, very excited. It stands for the Society of Conjurers and Magicians. It's very secret, very real, and I should not have even mentioned it. Please don't visit this website.com.
But hey, now that it's on the live stream on Facebook, it's not.
Oh
yeah.
no! What? Oh boy! I really hope you don't support our secret society. That is really fun, and that we can't prevent you from watching any of our
I
stuff.
don't want anybody to continue to promote this thing, so we won't continue talking about it, as we are currently not doing. Anyway, guys,
I'm not good at winking, by the way. Can you wink? My girlfriend is horrified by my winking. I have to actively think about it. You can just wink.
Yeah, just you want me to just.
Oh, that's very good. I will attempt it, but it looks weird. I go, see, I open my mouth. It's not a good wink.
Did I open my mouth?
That's not even. I can't even wink this side.
Well, we have really gotten off the rails here, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you think people would accept that if I ever had to go in for a job interview? And I hope I don't have to.
You should just list it on your resume. Expert winker.
They always ask you, what's your flaw? I'm going to be like, I can't wink. I think that, honestly, that was probably a positive.
Well, I mean, you're not going to be like George Costanza and, cross-pollinate your communication. Could be. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to, as Harrison learns how to wink in the next 30 seconds, we're just going to continue on with the show a little bit. If you haven't already, hop on over to youtube.com, type in GottaLoveThemMovies. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a little red square that says subscribe. Go ahead and click on that button. What clicking that little red subscribe button does is it helps widen our subscriber base. But Mike, you say, we are currently watching this show on Facebook Live. Yes, I understand that. Facebook is where all the people are, but YouTube is where all the money is. So once we hit enough subscribers on YouTube, then we start to qualify to earn ad revenue. And by earning ad revenue, I get to make the show my full-time job. So I'd very much appreciate you going over and clicking that subscribe button on YouTube. And of course, as soon as we get 1,000 subscribers, this show will be moving from Facebook to YouTube. So just something to keep in mind and look out for. And with all that done and out of the way, we're going to open up some movie news.
What?
All right, as Harrison is in the background singing his own made-up song for movie news.
No, it was a professional voiceover artist you clearly hired just for that part.
This is true? This is true.
I think I'm just very distracted because Pee Wee Herman is with his friends behind your head.
Totally is.
He's got, I think that's, he's with all of his friends.
Cherry, and,
and Terry.
Thank you.
Terry the pterodactyl. Right. But Bob Ross, I think he's in danger.
He's being protected.
He doesn't know those friends.
He's being protected by Panthro and Chitara.
Is he being protected? I think he'd be very nervous if he found himself in those two people's company.
Well, today, you guys, some of the breaking movie news that we have, we're going to be talking pretty much all things James Bond today. If you haven't already heard, the new film, No Time to Die, James Bond, it has been delayed again, surprise, surprise, amidst the pandemic, the worldwide global pandemic. This is, again, I keep going after the fact that I am so redundant. But in case you haven't seen, the film is once again being moved. This news comes to us from Deadline. I mean, it's in pretty much every major trade right now. But here's the thing. Almost all the movies
Mike,
are being moved and traded.
I actually saw the movie. I shouldn't say this online.
You did
but
not.
I saw No Time to Die. Yes, if you want me to prove it, I'll tell you what happens in the movie. James Bond is the star of it. He's a spy. How do I know this without having seen the film already? That should be enough proof, but I'll keep going.
Man, please keep going.
He kills a bunch of people that are also trying to kill him. There's at least one very bad guy played by a very good actor. There's very attractive ladies. A few of them have guns even. I think somebody close to James Bond, I don't want to spoil it for you, but will die. He'll have gadgets. There'll be a car chase. There'll be something where he runs really fast. He's going to look really sad. And then explosions and action scenes. These are all things that I could have only known had I seen the movie. I've just proven it. I've seen it early.
Wow. I Breaking news, ladies and
I did
gentlemen,
it.
breaking news. We have a
Right.
full film story plot synopsis. Um
I just did it. I just leaked the whole synopsis right there. I'm so sorry if you. I should have said spoiler alert before I said it. But yeah, also there's going to be a very fancy card.
wow. So
Yeah.
Harrison, okay, so
Yeah.
here's my question to you, Harrison. Having already seen the film, and you pretty much just
I've seen it,
laid
yeah.
out the whole thing. So if spoilers
Yep.
is something that our viewing audience cares about, it's a little too late to click away.
I mean, I'll tell you, my favorite scene was the one in that European city. You know what I mean? Where they were on. Normally, you do a scene on the street
Yeah.
level, but they were not on street level. They were sometimes below, sometimes above it, and it really made that European city look interesting.
And it wasn't just a European city. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you've actually seen the film, but weren't there also Caribbean
Yes.
cities?
There was usually yes, there was a very tropical location. There was beaches and oceans and drinking. There's always drinking. And yeah,
Incredible.
and I don't want to. I don't. Again, I'm sorry to spoil the movie, but more than one European
Wow.
city.
This is
Yeah.
this is some hot goss right here, you guys. Some hot goss.
Like this is the kind of stuff that they tune in
So,
for. Stuff you can't
so
get
that
anywhere
being
else.
said, if I may ask, in your purview, having already seen the film, where like pushing the movie back to 2020, and I get it, you've already seen it because you are the Harrison Greenbaum, the great and masterful magician, if you will. Oh, it's magic. You saw it through magic. I get it. It's all clicking now. But if I may ask, what like pushing this movie back to 2021, is that going to hurt the film or help the film? We're going to talk about the movie theaters in a minute, so we'll leave them out of it. But what are your thoughts about the film itself in its box office return?
I don't think it will affect the film that much. I think the only thing that would have hurt its box office is if they had released it during the pandemic. I think Tenet was a sort of experiment for people to watch, and I think it did not make the money, obviously, that it would have made had it been people been able to go to the movie theaters in large numbers. So I think delaying it is good. I think the only thing that gets balanced at this point is I think everybody knows delaying it will make more commercial sense, but it also means pushing their entire schedule
Yeah,
off.
everything
So
else
anything
is,
that they had planned for
yeah.
next year, because these slates are like 2 or 3 years in advance, especially like the Marvel movies and a lot of these Disney films.
And not just for
So
MGM Universal, but also, like you said, for Disney, for Warner Brothers, for Paramount, for Blumhouse. Like, they all have these big movies. Because nobody ever sets out to make a bad movie. Nobody ever wants to not make a return on their films. But, like, with everything else being pushed back.
And these films cost so much. They cost so much.
Yeah.
Like, you have to make back. The movies themselves are $100 or $200 million, and then they pay even more in just the distribution and advertising.
Well, you have to pay
Like,
double for whatever the budget is, and then it's about 1.5 for the movie for the exhibitors themselves. So for a movie budget, let's just say Mulan, the movie Mulan. Well, it didn't come out in theaters, but let's just say it did. It would have to make $600 million just to break even. Just to break even. So if you want to make a profit,
that's a lot of $30.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of $30 tickets,
It's
so
a
to
lot.
speak. Yeah, it's hard.
Anyway, guys,
Yeah.
question is, have you seen No Time to Die just like Harrison has? What did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let us know somewhere down in the comment section below. Are you guys, so
Remember that moment, and I don't want to spoil it because it was such an exciting moment in the movie, but where you thought he was going to lose, but then he didn't lose.
he was,
That time I really
you
thought
were
he was
telling
gonna.
me
I thought
pre-show, he was
gonna.
tied up, right? He was tied up. He was caught, captured. tied
He's
up.
often
Yes.
restrained. Yeah, he's often restrained, and you think, how is he going to get out of it?
He did.
And then he does. That's
A regular
what's so amazing.
Houdini
He did.
that man is. Anyway, guys, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, so let's.
I've also seen all of the Marvel movies that haven't been released yet. I have. There's a hero, and
This episode is going to be 3
We can do
hours
this all day.
long. All right, so let's jump over to the Hollywood Reporter to see what they're breaking right now. This came out last night. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Cineworld, who is the owner of Regal. Cineworld is a European-based theater chain, but Regal falls under the Cineworld umbrella. They have officially come out and said that they're suspending all US and UK operations, and this comes as a huge blow in the film world, because hey, if we don't have movie theaters to show movies, how are movies even going to be made? And it begs the question of the longevity of theaters. Can they actually survive this? Harrison, I have a few thoughts on this. I think this is both necessary and also tragic. This is a lose-lose situation for everybody around. It's a lose-lose for the studios, it's a lose-lose for the exhibitors, and it's a lose-lose for the fans. Because we also, I mean, yes, like jobs are being affected.
It's also a lose for every sitcom character that has to fake yawn in order to put his arm around the girl at a scary movie.
But hey,
it is weird that we just accept that. It's weird that one sitcom decided that it was a clever, funny joke to have him like do this yawn and like get his arm around a lady.
Was it one?
And then we were like, "That's what."
Do you know what it was?
Well, then it became every sitcom, and yet I don't know if anybody in real life ever attempted that, or if that would be successful, or even.
I've done it.
You did it?
Yeah, I've done it.
You did the yawn?
Oh yeah, but of course, like you know me. It's that like jokey kind of like, hey, I'm gonna pretend to be serious, but I'm not actually being serious kind of. Have you done the? Hey, I went out and I went fishing the other day and I caught a fish that was this big. No, actually, it was this big. No, actually, it was this big. It was this big. No, now that I think about it, and you put your arm around her. Now that I think about it, it was about this big, and so you just.
And for those watching, consent is very important, and tricking a girl is never the right move. But yeah, in the sitcoms, this was okay. I don't know who the yawn.
It's true. So
also, if you ever, I've gone on dates to movies, and I have put my arm around a lady with consent, of course, very important. I didn't just, but it's never comfortable. Usually, there's like a 5-minute thing where like I've done it. This is kind of nice. And then your arm goes dead, and you also want to be able to hold the popcorn and your drink at the same time. You can't do that with just one arm. And now you have to figure out, like, am I just going to leave it here forever? Is she going to think? Then you also want to time it to the movie, because you don't want like a sexy scene to come on, and that's when you take your arm away, as if to say like, oh no, that's better. So like you have to worry about when the arm is going to come back, and then by that point your arm is dead. Your arm, you just can't. You have no feeling in any part of it. There's tinglings in the fingers, and it's all over.
So all of that being said, how is Regal Cinema going to bounce back from this?
Again, I think it's one of those things where there's not really much of a choice. Like, they thought the James Bond movie might be coming out, and so I think they were anticipating being able to at least show that. And one of the quotes that I read in one of those articles was like, if you're a grocery store, you need vegetables and you need food to sell.
True.
And if you don't have movies, there's no reason to open a movie theater if there are no movies to show. People aren't going to risk their lives in a pandemic, especially to see an old movie. Although probably not to see a new movie necessarily.
I mean, they have been making a little bit of money doing like reshows, bringing back like old films like Back to the Future or Jurassic Park, even Avengers Endgame. They've been showing some of these more, I guess, classic films in theaters. They've been making a little bit of money, but again, it's not sustainable. It's not the kind of thing that you can rely on for months and months and months. For a few weeks, okay, sure.
You know who's killing it though? Those people who are like, there is a bunch of business owners who decided I'm gonna open a drive-in movie theater 2-3 years ago, and everybody told them they were crazy. Mm-hmm. And they were like, this is not a good idea. The movie theater business is tough enough. You want to do a drive-through? What is this, 1955? And these kooks, these people who had this weird idea and stuck through it, are rolling. They're killing it.
Well, I will say, the one big movie that has come out is Tenet, and Christopher Nolan has actually put statute of limitations on where this film gets to be shown, and he put this whole thing into play that if it's not already showing within, I think it's 25 miles of a major city that is showing it, you can't put it on your drive-in theaters. So let's just say that there's a drive-in theater in Columbus, Ohio. And, theaters inside Columbus, Ohio are showing Tenet. Well, then, yes, Tenet can be shown at the drive-in theater. But if Columbus, Ohio is not showing Tenet on their theaters, well, then I'm sorry. It doesn't matter where your drive-in theater is located. If it's inside or outside the 25-mile radius or not, you're not going to be able to show it, which seems very counterintuitive. I mean, I get it. He wants this incredible theatrical event for Tenet, but
if that's what you want, and you want the audience watching it, and you want everybody, that feeling of everybody around you and you hearing it, and that is really an exciting. That's one of the most fun things about a movie, like watching Avengers Endgame when it came out, at midnight, and hearing all the fans and the cheering, and it's just like a very exciting thing.
It is, yeah.
If that's what you want, then maybe do what James Bond did and push it, push it till we can do that again.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about because I haven't seen the movie.
I got to see it in the comfort of my own home, and man, what a delight! I mean, the fact is, even if you didn't know the title, you would know it because it's in the song, and that was clever. I thought that was clever.
No Time to Die. It's true. I memorized it, the whole thing from start to finish. Anyway, guys, questions.
I think your Billie Eilish impression needs more whispering. She really loves to whisper.
No time to die.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Was that better? Was that better? Thank you.
That was great.
Anyway, guys, question for you is, how do you think Cineworld shutting down in both the United States and across the UK is going to affect, the cinemas? Is this a safety preventative measure? Do you think they're going to be okay in like 6 or 7 months, or do you think this is going to come back to bite them in the butt? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with all that done and out of the way, we're going to jump right in and take your emailed questions. You've been emailing questions previously throughout the show, and if you want to get an emailed question on the show, all you have to do is email me at GottaLoveThemMovies@gmail.com, and, we'll feature your question as a main topic here on the show, so go ahead and send me an email at GottaLoveThemMovies@gmail.com. Additionally, if you want to be a guest on the show, email me at GottaLoveThemMovies@gmail.com, and we'll try to get you a guest. Try to make you a guest here on this show so we can all talk movies and movie news and be part of the film fan community. Anyway, guys, with all that down, it's time to open up the Gotta Love Them Movies mailbag. All right. You couldn't hear it, but Harrison was singing me a brand new made-up song for the Gotta Love Them Movies mailbag, and it was beautiful. Harrison,
what are you talking about? That wasn't me. That was clearly Billie Eilish whispering that in her beautiful tone.
Can you just do another little sum-song of what you just gave me?
Mailbag. Open up a mailbag bag.
Oh, it's so good. I think we're going to have to use that as the official new title. Anyway, guys, this email comes to us from Tonya, who lives in Franklin, Pennsylvania, fun fact, where I was birthed. That is where I was born. Franklin, Pennsylvania. So Tanya from Franklin says, "Hey, Mike and guest." Well, hello, Tanya. Have you seen the new...
a formal way. She could have just said Harrison, but yeah, I'll accept guest.
Hey, you got to take it where you can get it, man. Have you seen the new Billie Eilish music video for No Time to Die? Does that mean that Bond really will be coming out around Thanksgiving? First of all, thank you for the question, Tanya. And no, earlier in the show, you may have noticed we talked about the delay of No Time to Die, but because Harrison has seen it, he can offer a little bit more insight into that. So first of all, no. The film will not be coming out in November. It will not be coming out around Thanksgiving, but there are a few interesting things happening about this. First and foremost, it's curious to me that this music video dropped literally the day before they announced that they were going to move it to 2021. So they knew what they were doing. They knew that they were dropping the music video, and they knew that they were gonna move move the movie. So here are my thoughts. I have 3 different points that I'd like to bring up. First and foremost, number 1, MGM and Universal wants to keep Bond in the social consciousness amid other studio film delays. Like, all these movies are being delayed. This film is getting delayed. That movie's getting delayed, which means they're getting press. People are talking about it. So I mean, if they can't
And they don't
turn,
have that streaming bump that like Disney is giving everybody. Like, because Disney can air a Marvel series on Disney Plus and keep you excited about the
yeah,
universe. James Bond is one of those properties that is so huge, but there's no cinematic universe around it,
correct.
or streaming property around it yet.
Yet, right?
James Bond Jr., the
Oh, I
cartoon, I'm ready
loved
for.
that. Oh, I loved it. His roommate was Q. Oh, it was wonderful. It was terrible. Oh, it was really bad. If you haven't had an opportunity, go check out James Bond Jr. It was like Fox Kids or something like that. Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
Yeah, he wasn't as junior as you would expect either.
No,
He looked like,
he was in
I think it was the
college.
same. Was it the same people that did Captain Planet? He looks like the kid, one of the like a slightly older kid from Captain Planet.
I mean, you make a great point. He was in college. I stand firm on this point. He was in college. It was not prep school. He was in college.
I want a baby. I want like a child, James Bond Jr. I want him like drunk on milk martinis.
Let's make this happen. I feel like
James
you
Bond
have the
Jr.
contacts.
Jr.
Let's
That's
make
what I
this
want.
happen. All right. So point number 2. The reason that the studio went ahead and dropped the music video the day before they announced that it was moving was it helps to soften the blow of yet another film delay. It sucks. It always sucks when we get told, "Oh yeah, we're moving this film, and yeah, but you gotta wait another but like it's a little bit more. A few weeks ago, they just dropped like the second trailer to the film, and now they're dropping the music video, which it seems like once a month they're kind of like putting a new James Bond thing out there. Okay, cool.
That's my only. That's the one thing that scares me is that they're gonna feel a need to keep giving us content so that we're interested in it. But by the time we get to the movie, somebody's gonna edit together every trailer,
Yeah. Oh
music
yeah.
video, and clip that gets released
Uh-huh.
and have the whole movie. Now, I'm not worried about it because I've already seen it, but I am worried for everybody else.
I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm gonna have to sit here and cover Bugs Bunny's eyes because I don't want him to be exposed to something like that. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody wants to be exposed to. And my third point that I'd like to bring up is, and I think this is the most important point for why they went ahead and released the music video, is that by generating a small amount of buzz, by releasing the music video, generating a small amount of buzz, they get so much more attention from earned media. Now, what is earned media? Earned media is, so my girlfriend is a professional marketing executive. She has taught me all of this stuff. And I'm like, ooh, I actually understand some of these terms. So earned media is something that you do to get everybody else talking about it. A few weeks ago, we talked about how she and her marketing team were able to work with the RZA from Wu-Tang Clan, and he made a brand new ice cream jingle to combat racism. So it's a really cool thing. It was through good humor. It was awesome. So they worked on this one project, right? So they put this thing together. They put it out there. And hopefully it gets picked up by all these other news network outlets, right? And it turns out that, the Washington Post and, the LA Times and, BuzzFeed and blah, 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 you name it. Like all these, like CBS, ABC, they started doing all these interviews with the RZA. That is earned media. So what are we doing on this show literally right now? We are talking about James Bond, No Time to Die. This is earned media. We are giving them free publicity and, spreading the buzz. Harrison, I just listed off 3 different things. MGM Universal wants to keep Bond in the social consciousness of everyone. They wanted to soften the blow by announcing, hey, we're going to delay the film, another year, I don't know, whatever, or I guess until April, and generating earned media. Is there anything that I skipped? Is there anything that I'm not thinking about or leaving off the list?
This is niche, but I really want a VR James Bond game. I think we all have our GoldenEye is like one is pun pardon the pun, but the gold standard for my generation, our generation.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When it comes to just like I feel like everybody has a really fun memory of like their friend picking Odd Job and it just being miserable to shoot him because he's slightly shorter than everybody else.
It was an event when that game
You
came
could get
out.
all your friends around the computer or around the N64 around the TV. It was the best.
Oh yeah.
I'm shocked that, release a new flavor of GoldenEye, and if you want, and release it for free, and I think we would all
Or
lose our
Skyfall.
minds. And
Like do Skyfall or Casino Royale or something a little bit more contemporary that has that strong Bond feel to it with a character face that you're already familiar with. That's now.
I mean, Walking Dead has not one but 2 VR games. How does James Bond not have a VR game? Like, I would love to be James Bond.
There is a VR. We're getting off topic, but there is a VR clue-based game. It's almost like an escape room. It's like a VR escape room.
I played this.
I expect you to die. That's the one. Yep. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, I love it.
Let me check that. I feel like I'm describing. Oh, it is. I expect you to die. Wow. I thought it was like one of those things where, like, you know, when like the stereotype of a Jewish mother when she describes a movie, it's never the exact title. You know, the movie with the lady.
Oh yeah.
And that's just like the poster.
But hey, sometimes you get it right off the money.
I got it. I expect you to die.
But is there anything that I'm leaving off the list? Is there any other reasons why MGM and Universal would decide to drop the trailer the day before they announce, hey, you know, we're actually going to push this back a few months? Like, it seemed they're wasting money, first of all. If
Oh, I get it. That was rhetorical.
What?
Oh, you got me.
Yuck.
I see. You made a good case.
I try. That's what we do around here. We talk movies.
Doesn't
we try
explain why they reached out to me personally and sent me that screener of the movie and said, "We know you want to see it, so just go for it." Which, by the way, it was in all lowercase, no periods or punctuation.
I really want you to be wearing a No Time to Die T-shirt right now. That's what I really wish is happening.
They did send me the official No Time to Die T-shirt.
Well, as a magician, I would love to see you do a costume change as soon as we get back. Anyway, guys, question for you.
No, this isn't it. I don't know if you saw it, but here, let me. It looks. I know it looks like just a Post-it that says No Time to Die, and it looks like I just wrote it out and stuck it on my shirt. But that's the genius of their merch, is that that's what it looks like because
can I see that again? Can I see that again?
Yeah.
That looks very authentic to me. That looks very, very authentic, yeah.
The idea is if they had just sent me like a printed shirt, then the gag would be up. Everyone would know that I've seen the movie. That would ruin the whole idea that they're pushing it off when they're sending it to VIPs like myself.
See, it's curious to me that they don't have the gun barrel logo behind the words "No Time to Die."
Yeah, no. The idea is people will see the shirt and then go, "Oh, he just made it himself. That can't be the official shirt. Oh, he didn't actually see it, but it did."
But that's the genius behind their marketing.
Yeah. I'm gonna go change into another shirt.
Okay, yeah, you do that.
Wow, that was so fast.
Question for you guys is, what do you think about the Billie Eilish music video coming out? First of all, do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Because if you're anything like me, I hated it. I mean, I've talked about the theme song on the show multiple times before, and it will not be the last. I do not like Billie Eilish. I hated the song. Ugh, it's bad. In
Can
my
I tell
opinion,
you what I think is my favorite James Bond song?
Hang on 1 second.
Oh,
we're trying to change segments here. Hang on.
Going. She's a child. Is she a child? How old is she?
Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the music video coming out the day before they decided to, or announced the change of the date. Anyway, guys, we're gonna move on to email number 2, and our second email of the day comes to us.
Billie Eilish was born in 2001. 2001, Mike. She was born in this millennia. Can you believe that?
I wish I couldn't. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in right now.
Just found out. She's 19 years old, it turns out.
Yeah, she's terrible. So this email comes to us from Grayson, who lives in Salt Lake City. I'm sure that you've performed at Wise Guys in Salt Lake. Harrison?
I have. It's a very good club. It's currently open, by the way.
It is. That does not shock me at all. And Grayson from Salt Lake City wants to know, so I keep hearing reports that Tom Hardy will be playing James Bond in the next movie, or rather the movie after No Time to Die. But that never seems to actually happen. Are any of these reports true? And if not, why do they keep circulating? Thanks, and great show, Mike. Well, thank you very much, Grayson. Yeah, so all these reports of Tom Hardy playing James Bond have been circulating forever. We've been hearing about this for eons. It is a thing that keeps coming back year after year. We always keep hearing that Tom Hardy's on the slate to play James Bond. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with Idris Elba. Like, hey, did you hear Idris Elba got cast as James Bond? And that was not true. That was never true. So again, here are my Tom Hardy thoughts. First, five bullet points. First of all, one, there's no way the Eon Productions would name their new James Bond before No Time to Die is released. There's no way that they would do that. That would completely undermine their movie. So first and foremost, that is bogus. Second, none of these rumors are from reputable news sources. Like, these are all rumors coming from the major rumor mills. You know, there's not a lick of truth in any of them.
It's Tom Hardy's agent on a corner in LA with a bullhorn.
Oh,
outside of Hollywood Reporter's office.
That would be wonderful.
Tom Hardy's James Bond. Put it in.
That would be wonderful. Tom Hardy, but Mike, Tom Hardy expressed an interest in playing Bond. Yeah, well, get this. Newsflash, actor wants work. Yeah, sure. Who wouldn't want to play James Bond?
I've also expressed an interest. Actually, well, I haven't yet. I'm doing that right now. I am expressing interest. I'll be the first Jewish Bond. Give it to me.
You better change your birth certificate to prove that you are from the UK. You were born and raised in the UK. You have an understanding of English culture.
Do you have to be born in the UK to be James Bond?
It's kind of a thing. Only one was not from UK heritage, and he was Australian. George Lazenby.
There you go.
Truth. Henry Cavill was the runner-up before Daniel Craig, which, again, it's not a done deal. It's not set in stone. It's not, the runner-up always gets it. But there is this tradition, you know, before Roger Moore was offered the role, it was offered to Timothy Dalton. And then after Roger Moore, it went to Timothy Dalton. But before Timothy Dalton actually got it, the role was offered to Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan couldn't do it because he was doing Remington Steele. So it went to Timothy Dalton. And there's this kind of almost a tradition of, like, whoever was the runner-up is going to be the next person. Again, that's not set in stone. It's not a clear-cut thing. But that brings us to our last point, in that Tom Hardy, he's two things. One, he's too old. And two, he's too big of a name. He's too big of a name. Everybody knows who Tom Hardy is. They usually end up going casting an unknown. Harrison, I know you are currently campaigning to play the role of James
I'm in the
Bond.
running. I'm in the running.
Running. You've got the facial hair. You've got
maybe
the
that's
look.
why they sent me the movie in advance, was to prepare me.
Could be. It could be. I would love to see that. How, first of all, would you like to see Tom Hardy play James Bond? And if not, why do you think all these rumors keep coming around and around and around?
Well, first of all, Remington Steele is one of the rare movie titles that is also its own porn parody, I feel like. Remington Steele, you don't have to even change it. Just like I think Toy Story, the porn is just Toy Story. But when it comes to Tom Hardy, here's the thing. I like Tom Hardy as an actor, but I would like to see a Bond that is not a straight white man. And I don't know which ones you want to change of those three.
Yeah.
But or change all of them.
I think there is an argument.
A gay white man and it was James Bond.
Ooh.
I'd be okay with that.
I think
if it was a black woman, that would be amazing. Just anything but a straight white man again.
I think, well, in No Time to Die, and you've already seen this, so you can probably confirm that they are setting up that the moniker of 007 is being transferred from James Bond to, and I can't think of her name, but she is a black female actor. So the moniker of 007 is being transferred. That hasn't been confirmed, but that is heavily rumored. That's something that a lot of people are expecting. But I would argue that the character of James Bond intrinsically should be male. Does he need to be straight? Does he need to be white? I argue no. But
I don't know if he has to be a man, though. I think that could be very exciting to see James Bond be a lady. Why not?
I think that's why it seems too gimmicky for me. If you're going to create a Jane Bond, it just seems way
Ooh,
too.
I like the
It's
title. I'm into
way
it.
too close. Way too close. Just change the character entirely. Create a brand new character, and I think that's what they're doing with this new character. It seems as though it. Can you hear my cat trying to get out of the door right now? She's meowing, meowing, meowing. Minerva,
I think that's not her
no.
meowing trying to get out the door. I think that's her
She
that
wants
that
to play the
as a
role.
lady supporting the idea that a female should be James Bond.
Well,
And I think I agree with that cat.
cool. So, question is, guys, what do you think? Do you think that James Bond, the moniker of James Bond, not 007, but the moniker of James Bond, transcends gender, race, and what is it? Sexuality? Let us know down in the comment section below. All right, so all of that brings us to our third email of the day. And our third email of the day comes to us from Matthew, who lives in Leeds in the UK. And Matthew says, with James Bond being delayed, should all cinema releases be delayed until next year? Woof. That's a heavy question, Matt. That's a heavy question. Should all cinema releases be delayed until next year? I'm gonna kick this over to you, Harrison. That's a tricky question to answer, because it has massive implications. It has massive domino effects. What do you think? Should we just take the entire slate of 2020 that's still supposedly coming out and just push it all back into 2021? What do you think?
I mean, I think if you're $100 million movie or any of these kind of like blockbuster movies, there's no way economically it makes that much sense to show it for a limited audience now.
Yeah.
But if you're a smaller movie, like I feel like one of the things people had been mourning pre-pandemic was the loss of that like few $1 million comedy, like the Bridesmaid type comedy, where it's over, I don't know how much that was, but it's obviously not on the scale of $100 million, but it's not cheap to make.
It was around 70. It was around 70.
Oh, that's a lot. So maybe that one's hard to recoup. But it's the $10 million movie. Like, there's got to be some great $10 million.
The Invisible Man just came out earlier this year. It was made on a $7 million budget. And it made a little over 110 million.
Yeah, I mean, Paranormal Activities I think cost under $1 million.
Blair Witch
the
Project.
First one.
Yeah, exactly.
Blair Witch Project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Horror is great for that. But comedy too. Like I think we have lost the sense of either the comedy has to be very expensive or like go straight to Netflix. But it would be cool to have some comedies in theaters. Maybe that's what we do need to laugh.
Do you think that that's viable? Do you think that's possible? If all of these movies get just pulled, what's going to happen to the theaters? And if we keep them in theaters, how is that going to prolong the pandemic?
Right. I mean, that's the balancing act. If you open up all the movie theaters right now, like the whole country is Florida, I imagine you'd have to shut down the country and then close the theaters. So I think it's a horrifying balancing act where no one wins because this is a crazy time. I think the creativity is being rewarded. I think people who are thinking outside of the box and doing interesting things, like I don't know how the Mulan experiment will go down. I think it's really interesting.
So Mulan didn't. We reported on this a few weeks ago. Mulan reportedly made $261 million, but that was an inaccurate number. That was an inaccurate number. The company that collected the data, because of course Disney and like a lot of these streaming services, Netflix is notorious for this. They don't
tell you.
Yeah, they don't release their information. So it was this data collection agency. They were the ones who were reporting on it. They got their data wrong. So we're all sitting here thinking like, wow, Mulan made a lot of money. Move the decimal point one place. So instead of $261 million, it was about $26 million.
Right. I guess the weird thing that I'm thinking about now is that if let's say you're already in production, you're in the pipeline to produce another set of blockbusters, and there's only a limited amount of sort of dates and space for these movies. Yeah. If you push everything, you're essentially saying, I'm just going to take a year of loss. Like, I'm just not going to make any money that year. I'm pushing all of them. And then when they debut in 2022 or 2021, 2022, they'll make them. Ooh.
You sure about that?
It's No Time to Die.
Wait a second. I thought that was your T-shirt.
It was. I'm very quick. I'm a quick change artist. But I think so. I think in many ways, maybe they're thinking about it like I'd rather make some money from, let's say, a Mulan or
Hmm.
whatever, and then not interrupt my schedule. So I'm making some money this year and the same amount of money I would make in 2021, whether the blockbuster, whatever the blockbuster might be.
But
So there is an argument maybe to make that
sure,
making some money is better than no money for some
but
of
it
these films
also
instead of
depends
pushing
on
everything. But I don't
a
know.
Black Widow is a potential $1 billion film. James Bond, a
Yeah.
potential $1 billion film. Wonder Woman, a potential $1 billion film. So the question now becomes: are we going to just go ahead and release these movies and make like Tenet has only made $300 million? Not a lot of money. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of money, but considering they needed 600 million just to break even,
Right.
I mean, they're taking a huge loss. They're taking a huge loss on this.
Right, but if they push that movie, if they push that movie to a slot that another movie already had, assuming that other movie would also have made $1 billion, then they're essentially saying we made 300 million and a billion as opposed to zero and then a billion.
So here's a question, a hypothetical question I'm going to throw out there. Let's just say that all these theaters, I mean, all these studios are pushing the release dates of their films, which they currently are doing. Let's just say that a hypothetical situation, the pandemic has resolved itself, it has gone away, everybody wore their masks, it is no more, right? Perfect, wonderful world to live in that we all want to live in. If the movies all get pushed back and people are going to come back out to the theaters, because the theaters themselves, the exhibitors, they still need to make money. If the next movie doesn't come out until like April, let's just say March, that means there's like a 5 or 6 month period where they are showing nothing. They are not earning any revenue. Is it conceivable that the theaters are going to try and cut a larger deal with the studios to take a larger cut of the box office? Because the studios take the vast majority of the box office. It all depends on the movie. It's a movie by movie deal. If it's Avengers Endgame, they know it's going to be at least $1 billion film. So they'll probably take a much smaller percentage, maybe like a 10% cut of the box office. But if it's something like a Woody Allen, I don't know why we're talking Woody Allen films, but earlier you mentioned Woody Allen. Now I have like that on the. It's more of like an art house type film. Let's just say I'm looking at a box of Trick Cereal. So let's say Trick Cereal the movie, the indie art house film, they're probably going to want maybe like a 40% cut or 50% cut because it's not going to make anywhere near as much money as Avengers Endgame. They need to balance out how much money they're making. Do you think it's possible that even for the big tentpole films like Wonder Woman, Black Widow, James Bond, are they going to try and negotiate a larger cut of the box office than they A, normally have, and B, currently have?
I would imagine the leverage that a major studio has, they could just say no, and there's nothing the movie theaters can really do.
I mean, they could not. I mean, they could choose not to show it. They could choose.
I don't
not
think
to
they're
show
not
it.
going to show Black Widow or like these big tentpole films. There's no way that they're gonna give that up. There was a thing with I think it was the Wonderama in L.A. Cinerama. Tarantino's film, The Hateful Eight, was filmed in Cinerama, so you could actually see it in that specific format. And Tarantino filmed it for that, essentially. And then there was a conflict where Disney was like, no, you're showing our movie. And I think he wasn't able to show it in Cinerama because they couldn't risk losing Disney films. So that it could be that kind of case.
I've seen one movie in that theater, and it was Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. It was a garbage movie. It was absolutely terrible. I hate that movie so much. And just to be in that historic dome, it was a waste.
It's a great theater, though.
It's a beautiful theater, but it was a waste.
Amazing.
It was a waste.
Although I will tell you, Jurassic World, the thing that excited me was, this is a real spoiler, so if you haven't seen the movie, don't listen to me. But the end of that film, where you realize that this has all been setting up a cinematic universe that is literally the whole world has dinosaurs in it. I am so excited to see what they do with that, because I think that I would want to see lots of movies and TV shows set in that world where, what if the dinosaurs Jurassic Park got out and started breeding, and it's just like a fact of life. And I think it's a great metaphor that we can use now. I think it makes it even better, because the idea that we're scared of nature, like this virus is out of control and killing people. Obviously, dinosaurs are easier to see.
It's true.
It's
true.
easier to convince people to wear, like, if wearing a mask prevented you from a dinosaur attack, people would not be People would wear their masks.
It's funny you come up with that premise because I believe that actually is the idea for the next Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I thought you were saying a
Yeah.
hypothetical. I'm like, that's...
No, that's why, even though the movie, I have some problems with that movie, what it sets up and what it did, at the end of that movie, I had goosebumps because then the camera pulled back and it was like, oh, that's why you're calling it Jurassic World. Like, that's such a great...
Did you see like the 10-minute short that Colin Trevorrow put out? I can't remember the name of it, but...
yeah, they're like camping.
Yeah. It was like a dinosaur attack and like a Stegosaurus attack or something like that. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's called Battle. I'm just Googling it now.
Battle at Big Rock? Is that the name of it? Battle at Big Rock?
I think it's just called... Oh, yeah, Battle at Big Rock. Yes.
There it is. Haha.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anyway...
I want to see the full-length version of that.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about possibly pushing back all of the movies that we currently have in 2020 over to 2021, just to give a little bit of breathing room? Do you have any insight? Is there anything that we didn't cover that you think, this is a major point? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.
Also, if Tom Hardy doesn't get James Bond, let him play one of the dinosaurs. I bet you he'd be a fantastic T-Rex.
Oh, I bet he would. That would be fantastic. I would love to see, just him doing his little, just take his head off and just like record him in motion capture and then just digitally insert his head on top of the T-Rex.
I mean, how fun would that be? Is if there's a really scared T-Rex and when he goes to roar, you just hear Tom Hardy's British accented roar.
Did you ever see? Oh my gosh, this is a gem. This is a pure gem. Tammy and the T-Rex. It's a full-length feature film. It's starring Denise Richards and Paul Walker. They're like 18 years old. It's called Tammy and the T-Rex. She's a cheerleader in high school. He's not quite the football jock, but kind of like on his way to becoming the football jock. And the other football, or like one of the school bullies or whatever, doesn't like Paul Walker and doesn't like that he's dating Denise Richards. So in the middle of the night, they kidnap him, they beat him up, they throw him into a lion preserve. The lions maul him to death. Doctors, as he's dying, or presumably already dead, the doctors preserve his brain. An evil scientist. This is true. This is the whole plot of the movie.
I'm looking at pictures of it right now. This is wild.
Evil scientist steals Paul Walker's brain after having it been kept alive, and they put it inside of a giant mechanical T-Rex. So now Paul Walker is a Tyrannosaurus Rex just roaming around.
In the movie, is it a mechanical T-Rex, or in the movie we believe him to be an actual dinosaur?
It's mechanical. They let us know it's a mechanical T-Rex, but nobody else knows that.
Wait a second.
We, the viewing audience.
Was it supposed to be a real T-Rex, and they're like, these special effects are so bad, we're gonna have to just admit it's a mechanical T-Rex?
Quite possibly. This was a shoestring budget, and it's glorious. It is glorious. Oh, I love this movie so much. Tammy and the T-Rex. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's delightful.
I'm ready to just make everybody's day. I believe it's available on Hulu.
It probably is. It most likely is.
Oh, it's with the Showtime add-on. You got to add Showtime to see it.
Oh, it's on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube. That's where I saw it. It's on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube. Go watch it. It's fantastic. Anyway,
Tammy and the T-Rex. Now I know what I'm doing tonight.
You get some popcorn. All right, guys, so that ends our show for Gotta Love Them Movies today. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for being part of the conversation. Thank you for sending in some emailed questions and kind of talking all things James Bond today. Harrison, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. And thank you for wearing your...
This is my third. They gave me two shirts, one with it on the shoulder and one in the middle, so I have options.
Is that the All Access t-shirt? It says like All Access on the back?
Oh, it's a very long thing on the back. Yeah. It says the entire plot of the movie. So
I would love to see that. I would love to see the back of your shirt.
They made me promise not to show it because it would spoil every part of the movie. I've already spoiled so much of it.
You already told us the plot of the movie, but
yeah. Also, turns out Billie Eilish is not in the movie. If you're watching the music video and you think those scenes are in the movie of Billie Eilish singing into a microphone in the dark, that's not in the movie. Don't be
Billie Eilish is just the worst. If you are a Billie Eilish fan, good for you. I am not. So we meet at an impasse. Harrison, thank you for joining me on the show today. Thank you for sharing your James Bond merch with us. Tell us what's going on in your life. Where can we find you online?
Well, you can find me tonight watching Tammy and the T-Rex on Hulu.
Doing a watch
but
party.
You can follow me at Harrison Comedy on Twitter and Instagram. You can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Harrison Greenbaum. That's easy to remember, youtube.com/Harrison Greenbaum. And my website is harrisongreenbaum.com. It has all the information, all the streaming stuff. I do a Corona cast all the time. Mike was on the last one. I may be doing one again this week.
Hold on. Keep on talking. I'm typing into the computer.
Oh, okay. What are you looking up? Tammy the T-Rex trivia?
No, I'm looking up your YouTube channel so I can show it to everybody.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I have content on it all the time. Almost all of my shows.
There we go.
Go to that.
There it is.
Go to my YouTube channel so you can see all the stuff that I've been doing. There's even old episodes of National Lampoon Live, which we did to raise money for PPE in the hands of healthcare workers that needed it.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, in the Corona cast, I'm in the thumbnail. Right there. There I am.
You are.
Look at
Absolutely.
that. Who books that?
That's the most recent episode of Who Books That with Harry Lorraine is great. I mean, they're all amazing, but Harry is 94 years old, so just so much experience and wisdom from an incredible life of magic and memory. He's the memory expert, and he'll explain to you why his memory is better now than it was ever. So that the idea that your memory gets worse with age, according to Harry, is a myth, and his techniques will help you make your brain only get better and better.
Fantastic. Do you have any besides your watch party of Tammy and the T-Rex tonight? Any other projects coming up in the near future you can plug for us?
Everything will go through my Twitter and Instagram. Next Sunday, the Sunday coming up, which is October 11th, we're doing a fundraiser for the Biden-Harris campaign. It's called Swing State Stars of Magic, I think, or yeah, that sounds about right. Or Swing State Magic. It's all these magicians in different swing states, and me, because I'm in New York, which I hope is not a swing state.
Oh man,
I hope
if New York ever became a swing state, things have gone very, very wrong.
That's right. So yeah, you can. Basically you just donate to the Biden campaign. You get a free ticket. So it's great. It's worth watching. It's going to be a really, really fun show. So that is all available. I tweet it out at Harrison Comedy, Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like I said, thank you so much for being on the show. And check out Harrison's. Hold on, let me bring it back up. Check out Harrison on YouTube. On the YouTubes, check him out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the things. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what James Bond would want you to do. All right, guys, as I always say, we live in a weird, crazy world, so please infuse a little bit of kindness. If you have an opportunity to perform a random act of kindness, please take that opportunity. Please speak kind words to each other. We all have different ideas and thoughts in the world, and trying to live harmoniously is one of the true triumphs that we can pat ourselves on the back for. Anyway, I'm your host, Mike Brown. I will see you all back here bright and early in the afternoon tomorrow.